Beasley Broadcast Station. WKIS, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, South Florida. This is 99.9's Kiss Country.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into Gold Coast Forum. I'm your host, Joe Bell, on 99.9 Kiss Country. This morning we're going to be talking about Nova Southeastern University, an explosive school here in South Florida that has a lot going on. We're going to talk specifically about career services available through Nova Southeastern. But first, I want to talk with Mike Laderman, Associate Director in the Office of Public Affairs. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
Before we talk specifically about careers, let's just talk about the school. You guys have a lot going on.
You said the word explosive. I mean, that is the perfect way to describe NSU right now. I mean, we've been going from, you talk about a small school just 20, 25 years ago to now all of a sudden we have more than 20,000 students. So all we've been doing is exploding all over the place.
Kind of walk us through the history of Nova Southeastern.
39 years young right now. As our President Ray Ferrero always says, we're going on the 40th anniversary next year. And literally just started out as more of a graduate school. And then we've slowly improved to adding the undergraduate programs. And essentially, you could go to NSU, start out at age 3. We're not just a university for, say, the college-age student, but I should say 3 months old, you could start out and go all the way to 99 years old, because we do have the programs in the Family Center for the young children, Mommy and Me, parent classes with their children. You could go to our university school, which is an elementary, middle, and high school. Then you could go to the undergraduate college, the Farquhar College of Arts and Sciences, get your bachelor's degree there, move on up to the graduate level and go anywhere from psychology to business to education to health professions to law. Get your master's there, move on up to the doctorate level, get that degree, and then attend our Institute for Learning and Learning and Retirement, and move on out there. So we have a little bit for everybody.
There and never leave the campus.
Exactly. We've had people who've actually gone from when they were, I believe, just about 6 or 7 years old in our university school to graduating college.
Now, how many people, students, are taking advantage of Nova Southeastern right now?
Nationwide, worldwide, actually, 22,000, a little bit more than that.
Now, explain what you mean when you say worldwide.
Well, we have programs all throughout the world. We're in virtually 10 countries right now, including the U.S. We have programs in 24 states as well. So it's not just our main campus here in Fort Lauderdale, but we also have programs in North Miami Beach, that being our Graduate School of Education. We have an oceanographic campus in Fort Lauderdale. We have the business school, which is in East Fort Lauderdale, and then also programs throughout the state of Florida and in Las Vegas and 23 other states as well.
What about internet? Has that impacted what you guys do at Nova Southeastern?
Absolutely. Actually, we're one of the leading universities in the nation, if not the world, with regarding distance education and online education. Matter of fact, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary coming up for online education.
How does the online experience, other than the fact you're not at the facility, how does that experience differ than actually attending classes at the school?
If you enjoy the in-class participation, online classes really isn't for you. But if you're a working person where you don't have time to get into your class, whether you're local or not local, it's so much easier to just click on your computer at your time convenience, be able to attend your class, so to speak, just by following a format that's online by your professor.
You also have to be disciplined so you don't click over to the solitaire game.
Absolutely. Actually, I had taken an online class before, and I put in probably double the amount of time on the computer than I would have if I had gone to the regular class, just because of fooling around a little bit.
Now, you say you've been with the university, about 8 years?
8 years now.
What are the biggest changes you've seen during that time?
Oh, geez. The most obvious is the amount of buildings and people on our campus. When I got to the university in 1995, there were about 6 buildings less than we have right now. It was more wide open. Now we've added more facilities on our campus. We're bringing in majority of the programs that we do offer, such as, say, the School of Business, which is coming over from our East Campus onto our main campus. Just the growth is just amazing. And even before that, I used to be a sports writer down here for 8 years prior to that. So I covered Nova Southeastern University teams. And when I say that there was nothing but flat land, farmland, as far as the eye could see, it was there on our campus.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the school, even though you're doing all this stuff internationally, is really kind of making a change to be more of a traditional type campus as opposed to a commuter school.
Correct. We're trying to bring the student life into student life, essentially. I mean, we've had a lot of very good, successful programs over the years, but what we want to do is get the atmosphere for the on-campus students. I mean, we have 7,000 students a day that are on our campus in downtown Davie, so to speak. And what we're trying to do is create a life for them. You really don't get that sort of effect at any of the schools down here in South Florida. Not to mention names, but we're all pretty much listed as commuter schools. We're trying to change that, just as the other universities are.
How do you change that? I mean, what goes into making that change over a period of time?
Different events that are more fun for the students, more outgoing for them, so to speak. I think a big one, such as we had a few weeks ago, the Student Life put on, did an excellent job with the Student Achievement Awards, the Student Life Achievement Awards, known as the Stewies. We had 500 people packed into our auditorium to watch the best of Nova Southeastern University accept their awards for top student, top male athlete, top female athlete. It was our version of the Oscars.
Is there such a thing as a typical Nova student?
I don't think there is. I think the perception used to be that a Nova student would be more of a preppy type, say 10 years ago. Right now, you get so many different types of people, from the typical college-age student that you would think from 18 to 22 years old, just coming out of high school, to working professionals. It's night and day all across the board, and it's great to see.
What do you think causes a student, let's talk specifically about somebody graduating from high school, what would cause them to want to go to Nova as opposed to going to Gainesville or Tallahassee or one of those universities?
Besides being able to stay local and in a great community, which we're already in South Florida, we have the programs that so many students want, where you don't have to go outside to get the great education. I mean, we do offer so many areas in health professions, law. I mean, our undergraduate area, if you're coming just straight out of high school, touches 15 areas that you can get a degree in. And the professors that we have, too, are excellent. If you look on the news and you have something going on, you'll see our professors being quoted in the newspapers or on TV stations across South Florida and across the state.
And that's something that's continued to evolve in the 8 years you've been with the university?
Oh, absolutely. The growth, not only on the student end of things, but as professors coming in and top professors coming in, is just enormous. I mean, what we've seen are just professors who are getting more and more well-known, and it's helping NSU get more and more well-known.
If I'm not mistaken, aren't there over 500 professors involved in Nova in one capacity or another? Is that number correct?
We're close to about that, because we do have about 2,500 employees on our campus, and the full-time professors are about that number.
Right. 2,500 employees. Do you know what the number was when you got there 8 years ago, by any chance?
It could have been 25.
So you've seen a lot of growth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What about the future for the university? What do you see 5-10 years down the road for Nova?
Well, if it's anything been like the last 5 or 10 years, it's just going to keep on booming. We do have, like I mentioned, the business school coming on campus right now. We have that new library that we built a year and a half ago, the largest library in the state of Florida. We have the new Family Center Village opening up right off University Drive. The growth is just going to continue to boom and expand for us. And just what it does is it gives more people in South Florida, the state, and the nation, and the world more opportunities for education on our campus.
In terms of real estate, do you all have enough property to continue growing?
There's never enough. I think we could use about another 300 acres that we have.
How many acres on the campus right now?
We're at 300.
Wow. So you could double the size and still maybe run out of room eventually.
I think so. I think we would love to be able to do that if possible.
One thing I did want to ask you while we have a moment, what do you enjoy most about working at Nova?
It's a great environment. The people are great. I mean, I love dealing with the professors, the coworkers, and seeing the students enjoy themselves. I'm going to go back to that Stewie's that we had 2 weeks ago. Seeing 500 people packed into that auditorium, and we could have had more people sitting in there enjoying themselves. That's when you know it's a great atmosphere, not only to attend classes, but also to work.
We're talking about the wide variety of programs. Is there a program or several programs that Nova is really recognized for regionally or nationally?
I don't think there's one or two even set ones, because if you're in the world of, say, studying sharks, you know about our Oceanographic Center. That's how well known we are. Our law center, if you go to the state attorney's office, being in Broward or Dade, they're made up of Nova Southeastern University graduates. Health professions-wise, we're all over South Florida and the state and the world. I mean, we have so many top graduates nationwide and worldwide that you can't really peg it into one or two programs.
All right. Well, as a former sports writer, before we let you go, how'd the basketball team do this year?
Basketball team, they struggled a little bit on the men's side. The women's had a little bit better year, but they were all right.
So how's the outlook next year?
Hopefully a lot better.
We're talking with Mike Laderman with Nova Southeastern University. Mike, when we come back, we're going to talk a little about careers. And I know that's an important part of the university, helping people plan for their careers.
Absolutely. It's not just getting the education, but afterwards, as you'll hear from the two folks that I brought along with me, we help you get into their careers as well after you graduate.
We're going to come back and talk about that on the Gold Coast Forum right after this.
Right now at DOC, get 50% off frames. Then if you want, take 50% off your complete second pair for you, a friend, or whoever. DOC, you'll like it.
This is Joe Morrow coming to you from Lipton Toyota, now through Sunday, 6 p.m., backed by popular demand. It's the biggest Toyota sale in South Florida history, and it only happens once a year. It's Lipton Toyota's Rip the Invoice Off the Wall sale. Here's how it works. Every factory invoice for every new Toyota in stock will be posted on the showroom walls. Pick out your new Toyota, rip the invoice off the wall, make us an offer, then subtract the rebate. Folks, we're talking about hundreds of new Toyota factory invoices posted up and down the showroom walls of Lipton Toyota. Also, only Lipton Toyota has 0% financing for 60 months and will double all factory rebates on every select new Toyota. Plus, we'll pay you $5,000 more for your trade than it's worth. That's right, folks, $5,000 more than this week's official Black Book rough price when you purchase any new select Toyota in stock. Finally, there's only 4 weeks left to enter for the chance to win the $1 million cash prize. Lipton Toyota, located 1 mile west of I-95 on Oakland Park Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. Call 954-735-1330. I'll see you by 6 p.m. on Sunday at America's Lipton Toyota. All offers are on select vehicles and are not in conjunction with any other offer with approved credit. See deal for details.
When the Rooms to Go spring sale and clearance ends at 9 p.m. Monday night, it'll be the last time for a long time to get furniture prices this low at Rooms to Go. Look, we know you don't throw your money around, and honestly, we don't throw the word sale around. This is no gimmick. It's an opportunity. Our one sale of the season we need to make room for new spring furniture styles on the way from our manufacturers. Plain and simple, if you need any furniture at all, you owe it to yourself to check out the prices. We promise you won't be disappointed. Get big savings on living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, accessories, bedding, leather, entertainment centers. Every category's included. Every clearance price a tremendous value. So don't wait another minute. Remember, the Rooms to Go spring sale and clearance ends Monday night at 9 p.m.
It's everything you wanted, let the world know.
Decorating's easy at Rooms to Go.
Decorating's easy, Rooms to Go easy. Decorating's easy at Rooms to Go.
It's a new year and time for fresh beginnings. If your love life could use some freshening up, now is the perfect time to call the Kiss Country Dateline at 1-800-YES-WKIS. The Kiss Country Dateline is the best way to get introduced to the kind of people you want to meet. It's worked for hundreds of others, and it can work for you.
Try it. I mean, what I've been telling my friends is that it's unreal because you match with your likes, your dislikes, what you like to do, and it just works.
I was able to narrow the field, if you will, to zero in on people that I thought really struck me as interesting. And so I thought it was extremely well done.
We had so much in common, and then we finally met. We went out, and it was unreal. You know, I tell my single friends, say, hey, look at me. I'm married now. You know, just look at me. We're happy. We are really, really happy.
Add a new love to the new year. Call the Kiss Country Dateline now. The enrollment is free. Call 1-800-YES-WKIS. That's 1-800-937-9547. The Kiss Country Dateline. It could mean a new start for you.
99.9 Kiss Country.
Back on the Gold Coast Forum on this Sunday morning, we're talking about Nova Southeastern University. We were talking with Mike Laderman in the first segment about a lot of growth at the university. And I guess one reason is because the university is so focused on careers. And with us today is Michelle Ohayon, who is the Director of Career Services, and also Matt Cardin, the Assistant Director of Career Services. Michelle, welcome to the program. And let's start by telling us exactly, when we say career services, what does that mean to you?
Well, thank you very much for having us today. Career services basically means taking students through the entire career planning and job search process. It's important that we reach students early on in their academic experiences so that we're working with them throughout their time at NSU to help them make the right decisions about what they're going to do to be successful at the end and take them through lifelong types of guidance so they'll be able to make proper career decisions throughout their life.
What do you think goes into a young person making a career decision? You're 17, 18 years old, you're graduating from high school. What are they basing these things on?
I think that when we're working with the 18 to 22-year-old population, we're seeing a lot of students sort of basing decisions on salaries. People want to make a lot of money when they get out of
So
school.
is that a question you get asked a lot? What's that job pay?
Absolutely, absolutely. And typically students in this era are coming in asking us which jobs pay the most, or choosing majors based upon I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, all the things that they know of that, historically have made a lot of money.
What kind of advice do you give a young person that if you get the feeling that they're looking at a career solely from a financial standpoint?
Well, part of our model that we use sort of takes the student back a few steps and says, okay, let's take a look at where your interests are, where your skills are, what kinds of positive experiences you've had up until today, what kinds of skills you really like to use, and then look at the values piece, because the values piece is not just how much money you want to make as well.
Right. What are some of the hot careers right now?
In South Florida, obviously, we're seeing, as well as nationwide, there's a tremendous need for teachers across the entire country due to retirement and an increase in schools, as well as the state's new mandate on smaller classrooms. The entire state, especially Broward County, is in need of teachers. The healthcare field, there's a tremendous nursing shortage, and we have recently added a nursing school at NSU, and I think as the years go on, we will grow that program to be able to help source some of the local hospitals in the nursing area as well. Accounting, finance, financial services, and in Florida, we're still very service-driven in South Florida, so we're looking at a lot of retail, hospitality, and other service employers as well.
On the education side, when years ago it seemed like a lot of people, particularly women, I guess there were a lot of traditional jobs back then. A lot of women became teachers, nurses, whatnot. Is the interest still there in teaching, or is that something that's waned over the last few years?
I think for the most part, there has been less of an interest to go into teaching because of salaries. In the state of Florida, salaries for teachers is not as high as it is in some of the states in the Northeast, where you will find still more male teachers. In the Northeast, you will still find male teachers. Whereas
you think that's
South,
more of a salary issue?
Absolutely, absolutely. Although I think that more and more schools have tried to do a much better job of communicating to students the need for teachers and the advantages for being a teacher.
Right. Matt Cardin is also with us. Matt wanted to direct a couple of questions to you. Let's talk about continuing along this line. Do you find a lot of people that have an idea of what they want to do and then get into a program and decide maybe a year into it that this isn't really for them?
Sure. Actually, I've seen it both out of our 18 to 22, the traditional student population, where they get started in a major. Maybe it's their sophomore year, or even sometimes still in their freshman year, and they come in and they're really all of a sudden they're undecided or unsure, or it's their junior or senior year. They've done an internship and they're thinking, "Gosh, this may not be for me." I actually had a student once, as we were just talking about teaching, a student who had to go off and do their student teaching piece in their senior year, who realized they don't like to get up so early to be at the school by 7 a.m. So it said, I need to do something different. What can I do with this education degree? And came in all frantic, saying, didn't realize I'd be up so early in the morning, as an example. So yeah, we definitely see that out of our traditional students as well as even our non-traditional students. I've seen that someone going back for a master's degree who all of a sudden said, kind of stops halfway through and says, am I pursuing the right degree for what I want to do?
That's a great question. You have a lot of students that are going back to college. What normally compels somebody 35, 40, 50 years old to go back to school?
A lot of times we see it for career growth or career progression, to get promoted, or to actually make some kind of career transition. They're at a point where they just feel that it's time for them to make a change, and they're at a point where they can make that change, and they feel that credential or that degree is going to help them make that transition.
This question's for either one of you that wants to answer it. Are people wanting something different out of employment today than they did maybe 10 years ago?
I think that what they want, in addition to job security, they want employers to be as loyal to them as they are to their employer. I think that people need a little more flexibility with their family needs, which I'm assuming 10 years ago were similar kinds of issues. Kind of to piggyback onto what Matt said with regards to making the right decision or why people are going back to school, we obviously see some people are going back to school because they have lost their job. We cannot ignore what's going on in terms of the job market and the economy. And many times those people are forced to go back to school and forced to kind of change careers. So they want to now make the right decision, and they're expecting from an employer that if they're making that change and going to school and investing the time and the money, that they're going to make the right decision.
Right. You're talking about the job situation, corporate downsizing. How has that impacted the job market?
It has obviously impacted the job market as well as locally. We've seen many of our alum coming back that have been downsized, have lost their jobs. Some in the technology area. There was this big growth spurt in terms of the internet and what kinds of companies, small to mid-sized companies that were coming to South Florida for that market, and how the sort of downslope has affected that in terms of our alum and the job market. We definitely have been seeing lots and lots of students changing careers because of that, as well as alumni that are coming back looking for new employment.
Now, one thing you guys do is you really work with people from when they first come to school, helping to select a career, I guess all the way through graduates, helping them find employment, correct?
Correct.
How many of you are in your department?
Actually, we're a small staff. In terms of professional staff members, there's 3 of us.
Well, that's a big job then, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a very big job for a very small staff.
What are some of the typical questions that you get asked other than salary range by somebody when they're selecting a career? What kind of things are they interested in?
Sometimes like the nature of the work, the working conditions, what it's kind of involved. As you asked the question earlier, like, is there kind of been a change or a shift in what people are looking for from about 10 years ago? Definitely, as Michelle mentioned, more flexibility, kind of trust with their employer that, hey, if I'm doing a real good job and putting my all in it, that you're going to kind of take care of me and look out for me kind of thing, which, definitely there's been that lack of with corporate downsizing and becoming more of like a free agent kind of market out there. But yeah, they're definitely looking for those kinds of qualities. Occasionally people hear of organizations where there's a daycare center on site and, dry cleaning or a barbershop and pharmacy and all those kinds of things. And so they're sometimes interested, hey, does that industry that I might be pursuing a career in, do those kind of companies exist in that industry?
So they're looking at more of the total employment package as opposed to just the salary.
Yes. Yeah.
We're talking with our friends from Nova Southeastern University about careers, the job situation in South Florida. We're going to come back and continue this discussion on Gold Coast Forum right after this.
Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury, Sunrise Boulevard, a mile and a half east of I-95. Proud to be American, where you can have it all. Brand new 2003 Lincoln Navigators, 2003 Lincoln Aviators, 2003 Mercury Mountaineers with 0% financing plus, and I said plus, $3,000 in Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury discount dollars. Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury, Sunrise Boulevard, a mile and a half east of I-95 with up to 60-month financing at 0%. Yes, plus $3,000 in Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury discount dollars. And with every Lincoln Aviator test drive, we will buy you a ticket for a chance to win a new one. Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury, proud sponsor of the All-American Fort Lauderdale Air and Sea Show, saluting our nation's military. We'll see you there, but see us in our showroom now while a selection of these SUVs is at its best. You can have it all. 0% financing and $3,000 in Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury discount dollars. Fort Lauderdale Lincoln Mercury, Sunrise Boulevard, a mile and a half east of I-95 with approved credit through Ford Credit.
If you're looking for a unique gift of jewelry, one jewelry store has 5 times the selection of ordinary stores.
Let's share it.
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, will amaze you with our Mother's Day gift selection. The area's best collection of independently certified diamonds, gold and platinum, exotic color gemstones, designs by Levia, Sea Magic Culture pearls by Mickey Muto, and the finest Swiss timepieces. Plus, Jared has incredibly low prices every day.
It can only be
Only Jared offers over 1,000 unique jewelry designs with rubies, sapphires, emeralds, pearls, and the most popular birthstones mounted in expertly crafted settings of 14-karat gold or platinum. Plus, Jared offers free financing for 1 year. Minimum purchase and minimum monthly payment required. Jared in Kendall on Kendall Drive next to Bahama Breeze. In Fort Lauderdale on North Federal Highway in front of Circuit City. And in Boynton Beach on Congress Avenue south of Old Boynton Road.
Uncle Funny's Comedy Club and 99.9 Kiss Country proudly presents Bill Engvall.
I was in Sears shopping because I got that kind of money. And I had a couple pair of pants I was going to buy, and I set them up on the counter, and the girl goes, "You going to buy these?" "No one's going to steal them. Just wanted you to see them before I ran out the door." Here's your sign.
Bill Engvall on Uncle Funny's Comedy Stage, May 9th and 10th.
This is me driving with my wife. We'll be driving, and she'll just go, "You just missed our turn." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Well, you always act like you know what you're doing."
Bill has toured with Jeff Foxworthy on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and now he's coming to Uncle Funny's. Tickets are on sale now, only $20. Get them quick before they're sold out.
I've been trying to quit smoking, and it's just going to kill me quicker than cigarettes would have. And I've tried everything. I tried the gum. I couldn't keep it lit.
Remember, it's Bill Engvall, May 9th and 10th. Uncle Funny's in the Pine Island Plaza, Davie. Call 954-474-JOKE for more info. Have some laughs with Bill Engvall from Uncle Funny's and 99.9 Kiss Country.
You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? The National Multiple Sclerosis Society's MS Challenge Walk is coming to South Florida for the first time ever. 3 days, 50 miles, closer to a cure. An estimated 1,000 people will walk together 50 miles from Boca Raton to Key Biscayne, October 17th through 19th, to help end the devastating effects of MS. This is a National Multiple Sclerosis Society fundraising event, so rest assured you'll be cared for and safe throughout your 3-day experience. Call now to register for one of our Explore the Challenge meetings, 1-800-FIGHT-MS, or register online at mschallengewalk.org. Over 400,000 Americans now suffer the debilitating effects of MS. Help bring us 3 days, 50 miles closer to a cure. If you can walk the walk, take the first step today. Call us toll-free, 1-800-FIGHT-MS or mschallengewalk.org.
99.9 Kiss Country.
Back on Gold Coast Forum, I'm Joe Bell for 99.9 Kiss Country. Talking today, Michelle Ohayon with Nova Southeastern University. She is the Director of Career Services there. And Matt Cardin is the Assistant Director. Michelle, in the last segment, we were talking about what people are seeking from employment. Is it realistic today to think you're going to go to work for a company and work there for 30 years?
Probably not. We are not really coaching students to expect that from an employer today. And really, the statistics in the last 10 years have actually been that most people hold anywhere between 3 and 7 jobs in a lifetime. So it's not really going to happen where they're going to stay with one employer.
Why do you think that is now? I mean, because I know my parents' generation, a lot of people went to work at a company, and that's the only place they may have worked their entire life.
I think that there's two sides to it. I think from an employer perspective, sometimes fresh blood, fresh ideas is important. From a candidate perspective, I think that an individual should be learning lots from different places. And I think that sometimes if one stays in one place for too long, they get very settled, are not often challenged as much, and it's time to kind of move on. So
I used to say you could have 10 years experience or 1 year's experience 10 times.
Right, there you go.
So I think in today's job market, a lot of times you have to move in order to move up.
Correct. We work a lot with our local student population that are pretty much commuter students that want to stay in the area, although we do have students in other locations as well. So when we talk to students about looking for jobs, and they have sort of narrowed down their availability to South Florida, it obviously limits them to the type of employers and the type of industries that we have in this area. We talk about expanding that net to either moving out of South Florida into Central Florida or opening up their opportunities to relocate anywhere, and you're talking a whole different ballgame.
Do you think young people today expect more from an entry-level job than people did 20 years ago?
Absolutely. I think that many of the data from our professional associations say that students' expectations are quite high. Matt had alluded to some of the perks that they look for from an employer. They're looking obviously at opportunities for bonus. They're looking at opportunities for advancement early on. They're looking for high salaries to start. They're looking for many things that, we had to pay our dues for when we began our careers, and they're expecting them early on.
Okay, we're going to play a little game now. Matt and Michelle were not aware they were going to be game show contestants today. We're going to play Let's Find a Job. So let's start. We've got a student, 22 years old, who just graduated from Nova Southeastern. Matt, you get to pick the degree. What degree do they have?
Let's go with a business administration degree.
They have a business administration degree. They're a South Florida resident. Of course, they want to stay in South Florida. And as Michelle said, they want the big bucks, the perks, the whole thing. How do we start looking for a job?
How we start is actually we would talk to that student in terms of self-assessment, like what are they looking for? I mean, what are their interests? What skill sets do they have besides this credential, besides this 4-year degree? What else do they have that's is going to make them employable, attractive to different employers? Do they have any experiences? Where those experiences lie? What industries? Do those industries exist right here in South Florida where they live? Are they being realistic with that?
So they're sitting at home. They graduated on Saturday. They have a degree. Michelle, what's the next step?
Well, hopefully that student or that alum, if they just graduated, had been in our office many times before and not just come to our office right after graduation. So if they'd already graduated, we're hoping that they've already had several interviews and that they're at the point of making a decision as to where they'd like to work or accepting a position. Obviously, that is not always the case, and many times we do see students that have just gotten their degree, and the first time they roll into our office is post-graduation because mom or dad or someone said, that's it, I'm not paying that car payment anymore. Right. So what we're going to do with them at that point is do the same things that we would have done with them if they would have come in earlier on. It may take a little bit longer, especially because of the economy, but we're going to want to make sure that their resume is looking good. We'll take them through the steps of how to build that, how to customize cover letters for employers, how to use many, many resources to tap into employers, not just the newspaper, not just the internet, not just the resources that we have, tapping into community resources and taking them through all the steps to be successful in obtaining that position.
What is important on a resume? We're going to build a resume. What are some of the keys?
I think that what's critical is that your resume reflects the kind of work that you're looking for. Again, because we work with many students that are career changers or adults that are coming back and writing a resume after not writing a resume for a long time, oftentimes want to keep irrelevant types of information on a resume. So we want to keep it current. We want to keep it relevant to the kind of work we're looking for. We want to make sure that critical information is represented in what I call the hot zone, the top portion of your resume that gets the most attention, real marketable skills. Don't put information on your resume that you don't want to do. For example, if someone worked through school as a secretary and spent a lot of time typing or doing dictaphone work, but really doesn't want to do that anymore, don't put that on your resume.
Right. Okay, you're sitting in your office. I'm going to be the student now. I graduated on Saturday. Now it's 2 weeks later, and I've been out looking. And I'm calling you, and here's my question. Everywhere I go, they say they're looking for people with experience. But how can I get experience if you have to have experience to get the job?
Okay, that's a very common concern for our students. And truly, we see that while they're going to school or the latter part of their senior year. And we're hoping that when we get them earlier on enough, they're registering for an internship or a co-op, meaning they're getting credit for working. If that's not happening and they're already graduated, what we often recommend is that they still seek out potentially a paid internship. There are some employers, especially what we've seen nationally through our contacts within our association, is that more employers are willing to hire temporary people or interns for a designated amount of time to sort of test the waters. And if things work out, potentially they'll hire that individual in a full-time role.
So anything you can do to get your foot in the door in the industry that you choose to work in?
Absolutely.
Matt, I want to ask you, a term that's used a lot and maybe overused, networking. How important is it to create a network when you're looking for that job?
It's definitely important to develop some type of network to have rely on family, friends, neighbors, faculty or professors that you've come, academic advisors. Also expanding your network using career services, using your career consultant or your career advisor, because a lot of times they may know individuals who may be able to assist you. In terms of generating just some additional leads for yourself, instead of, as Michelle alluded to, not just relying on the internet, the newspaper, that the networking piece is, a critical piece in terms of identifying potential opportunities that may fit with your career goals.
Let's say, again, that you have a business degree and you really are interested in finding a business position. How can you go about meeting the people you would like to meet?
You can, there's different professional associations. The local Chamber of Commerce hosts all kinds of events that are sometimes open to people from the public. Those are avenues, those are events that you should kind of get yourself to, put your face in front of others. A lot of times that I find that students are kind of a little bit afraid to kind of take that step, in terms of almost like a cat going for a fish in a fishbowl, like doesn't want to get its paw wet, but you sometimes need to put your face in front of people and let them know, you're a recent graduate, these are some of your career aspirations, and you're looking to kind of get started with your career here in South Florida, and you got to kind of seek out some of those business leaders and that kind of stuff.
I saw an ad in the paper, and it was perfect. It was me. They wrote that ad for me, no doubt. And I've contacted them, and I can't get an interview. What do I do?
How did you contact them?
I sent them a fax.
I
faxed them my resume.
Okay, you faxed them your resume.
A letter of recommendation from my mom and dad.
Okay, great. With that, follow up. Is there a telephone number that you can give a phone call to? Also, send your resume and cover letter, hard copy. Is there an email address, someone that you can email? Find another avenue to get in and talk to somebody.
What about an ad that says no phone calls? Is it proper etiquette to call anyways, or do you not call?
You're probably best off not calling. If they ask for no phone calls, they're definitely not going to. It's best to follow the directions when they ask for a cover letter.
But again, I'm perfect. I mean, really, the ad was written for me, and I know they're going to get 200 resumes. How do I stand out, and how do I get an interview and get in front of the person that can hire me?
Let's see, in terms of that,
Michelle's is going for her buzzer.
I can add something. What you may want to do is see if you know somebody in your network that potentially may know another individual at that organization, because your best bet is to really try to go in the back door. The people that don't follow the rules, as Matt said, so if they're saying no phone calls and you do call, lose. Right. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you go seek out someone who may be able to help you, potentially another employee or someone you might know that may be connected to that organization.
Some of those things are actually put in there, I guess, to see if you can follow instructions.
Absolutely.
Right. We're talking about careers with our folks from Nova Southeastern University, Michelle Ohayon and Matt Cardin. We're going to come back and wrap up today's Gold Coast Forum right after this.
Shirts are us. Shirts are us.
Shirts are us? What's that?
What do you mean, what's that? Just what we say. Shirts are us. We take just about any kind of shirt, and you put your company name, school, church, family reunion, anything you want, we can put it on.
How do you do that?
We use laser printing, silkscreen, and we do fantastic embroidery work. That's how we do it.
So you just hang around and print shirts all day, huh?
No, we also do tank tops, polos, caps, tote bags, coffee mugs, and even mouse pads. No minimum quantities either, so there.
And I suppose you have a graphic art department to design all this stuff for people too, right?
As a matter of fact, we do. All someone needs is an idea. Actually, we have plenty of those too. At Shirts Are Us, we do it all, and we're quick and reasonable, and there's no minimum.
Shirts Are Us on 441, just 2 blocks south of Johnson Street. Call 954-987-0336. That's 954-987-0336. Or call for your closest location. Shirts Are Us.
Win your share of $10,000 on May 8th at the Seminole Casino of Hollywood. We'll be holding drawings from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. for $500. And then at 10 p.m. we'll draw for our grand prize of $5,000. To win your share, come to the Seminole Casino of Hollywood and swipe your all-access pass each day you come. It's fun, it's fast, and it's free. Don't have an all-access pass? Stop by the guest services desk and we'll sign you up for free. So where will you be on May 8th? The Seminole Casino of Hollywood to win your share of $10,000. That's not all that's going on at the Seminole Casino of Hollywood. Stop by and visit some of your old friends from Las Vegas. Seminole Casino of Hollywood has brought in new hot machines from red, white, and blue to double wild cherry. Have a meal in our new Cheeky Hut Cafe, open 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for our daily buffet for only $5.95. And from 5 to 11 p.m. for a la carte dinners featuring our 10-ounce Seminole prime rib for only $6.95. With over 900 hot machines, live round-the-clock poker action, and lightning bingo where there's a winner every 30 seconds, we've got a game for everyone. The Seminole Casino of Hollywood, located minutes west of I-95 and Sterling Road on the corner of 441. Call 866-2-CASINO for shuttle and busing information.
With a job and minimum down, see dealer for details. My credit's so bad, the psychic hotline wouldn't give me 5 free minutes. My credit's so bad, American Express told me to leave home without it. Hey, wait a sec. Bad credit is no laughing matter, so Marooney Chevy is doing something about it. Marooney! Now through Monday at Marooney Chevy's credit event, you'll get credit or you'll get $100 cash. Never had a loan? Discharged bankruptcies? Your last car was repossessed? Get credit or $100 cash. Hurry to Marooney Chevy in Miami, West Dade, Fort Lauderdale, and Pembroke Pines. Check your paper or call 1-877-MAROONEY. My credit's so bad, the telephone company installed a payphone in my house. So who you gonna call? Marooney! Now through Monday at Marooney Chevy's credit event. You'll get credit or you'll get $100 cash. And that's no joke. That's Marooney Chevy.
Consider, if you will, page 307 of the Real Yellow Pages from Bell South. On this page, you'll find barbecue supplies, barn equipment, barrels, and barricades. This one page alone can offer a variety of real solutions to the same problem. For example, let's say your son was to bring home a stray bull. You could turn to page 307 of the Real Yellow Pages and look up barricades to show your son the importance of keeping a large animal out of the neighbor's pool. Or you might look up barrels to show your son the joys of being a rodeo clown. You might turn to page 307, look up barn equipment, and set up El Toro in the backyard. Or you could look up barbecue equipment and set up dinner in the backyard. For even more solutions, try the Real Yellow Pages Community Directory. It's a localized version of the original that allows you to find businesses right in your neighborhood. Look for the Pembroke Pines, Cooper City, and Miramar edition being delivered soon. You can also find real solutions online at realpages.com.
Are you ready for a winning team? Armalini Express Lines. For 52 years we've been on the road, caring for the people who carry the load. The flying A means better pay and a lot less time away. Time to move out, time to step up to Armalini. Armalini Express Lines, a family tradition.
If you're a professional driver interested in becoming part of a winning team, then it's time for you to step up to Armalini. This is your chance to earn great money and get out on the open road. Armalini drivers are only on the road an average of 5 days per week. So give them a call and see how you can make a great living and still have time with your family. Armalini Express Lines, 1-800-428-0343. Call them today.
Armalini Express Lines, a family tradition.
Call 1-800-428-0343.
99.9 Kiss Country.
Back for our final segment on Gold Coast Forum, we're talking about careers with folks with Nova Southeastern University. Michelle Ohayon is the Director of Career Services, and we talked in the last segment about how to try to find a job. It's an interesting thing, but an exciting time.
It sure is, and it could actually be very nerve-wracking for a student who is expecting student loans to kick in or mom and dad to stop providing them with financial backing, as well as for even our adult students who could be in transition and really are in need of securing employment or making the right decision if they're going on to graduate school and so forth.
We're talking about internships as a way in the door. I would also assume part-time leading to full-time might be a way to get your foot in a door somewhere.
Absolutely, and we really encourage that throughout their academic experiences. We recommend that a student get that hands-on. Like Matt said, there was that education major who realized once they went into the classroom that wasn't for them, and you're not going to really know that until you take that knowledge from the classroom and put it to work. And doing that part-time is a great way to get that experience.
We get a lot of young people wanting to get into broadcasting that call us, and I always tell them not to get discouraged because you only need one job. And you may have applied for 50 and they not worked out, but all you need to do is find that one.
That's true. You do need to find the one, but I think that what's happened today is that you have to make more contacts than you made before, and you have to have more than one potential going, and you can't really put all your eggs in one basket today.
Let me ask you this. Did you go to college intending to become a career advisor, career counselor?
No.
What did you go to college to do?
I began my education studying marketing and then switched over to psychology, hold a master's degree in counseling, and thought that I wanted to go on and become a psychologist. Had a phenomenal experience working in the Career Center while I was doing my graduate work as a graduate assistant, and then chose to pursue career services.
But I think your story is probably pretty typical. I mean, a lot of people start out with one thing in mind and end up doing something entirely different.
Absolutely, and I think from my own experiences, and many people on my staff have had similar experiences, is that I really learned that I developed skills that sort of crossed into many different careers, and that's what we really try to work with students today. That a degree in business administration, I mean, even if a student does a specialization in marketing, what kinds of skills are you getting out of that, and what kinds of skills are you developing through your part-time intern or co-op experiences? Is it your communication skills? Is it your writing skills? Is it your ability to sell that you really want to put to work? And the more skills that you develop, the more skills that you have, the more marketable you're going to be.
Years ago, a high school diploma was the entry into the marketplace. Then it became a college degree. Are we seeing postgraduate degrees now as being a prerequisite for many jobs?
Absolutely. Obviously, a bachelor's degree is what a high school degree was at one time, that everybody needs really a bachelor's degree for a lot of fields. Although there are many jobs in South Florida that still are okay with associate degrees or technical, we're seeing more and more people go on to graduate school. Many employers are preferring that you have experience, though, before you get into a graduate program, so that your experiences from the outside world really enhance your academic experience. You bring a lot of real-life stuff to the classroom.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the job market right now. We've talked a lot about how to find a job and how you can assist somebody. What is the job market like?
I think that we try to remain very hopeful in the Office of Career Services because there are jobs. It may be harder to find a job, but there are jobs available. And sometimes an individual has to look beyond what they thought that they expected. And the students that do that, or look beyond the Fortune 500, because the Fortune 500 may not be the first place that's going to hire you. It may not ever be a place that will hire you, but maybe there's a small to medium-sized organization locally that is really excited about bringing you on. And the more students or alumni that open their eyes and, will accept a position outside of what they initially thought of, the more successful they're going to be.
Michelle, you've been great, and appreciate you and Matt being on with us. We want to wrap up this morning with talking with Mike Laderman again. Mike, what great folks you have working in the career office.
These guys do pretty well, don't they?
We're going to work on my resume as soon as this show is over. Wanted to ask you, I know a lot of things going on at the university, but this time of year, graduation is at the top of everybody's
Graduation. We have, we're two this weekend. We had with Saturday being the undergraduate school and also the law center. So undergraduates and graduates walking on out, and they're both walking to get their diploma, and then they have their resume in the right hand as well to hand out when they walk off the stage. So,
any idea how many people will be graduating from Nova this spring?
Each school center and college totally different. Say for the undergraduate center, more than 1,000 people, and a few hundred for the law center. We get up to quite a few thousand.
Early in the show, we talked about the growth of the university, which has been phenomenal. What do you see as some of the bigger challenges that face you guys moving forward?
I think the challenges really are people who keep the interest in education that they already have. I mean, we're trying to get people to be interested in our programs, and they are interested in the programs. That's why these two are here, Matt and Michelle, with people who have the interest to better themselves. And as long as they're interested outside there, then we have what they have to offer.
How do you evaluate your curriculum to make sure that it's in touch with what's going on in the real world today?
Well, the professors are the ones that really need to keep things going. I mean, they're the ones who, with their curriculum and each their syllabus, so to speak, where they're the ones that have to keep it interesting and keep looking in the news and see what's going out there and keep everything current. That's a big thing for the students right now. I mean, they don't want something where, American history where just ends 50 years ago. They want classes that are going on now. And we've had perfect examples where right after the attacks in New York, we had actually terrorism courses and terrorism in America, so to speak, with Professor Tim Dixon. Courses like that are what interest the students.
Get pretty good feedback from students when they graduate about the preparation they got at the university.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they love the atmosphere because, the student-professor ratio is really just about 12 to 1 on our campus, and they're getting the best professors in South Florida.
So a young person that's getting ready to graduate from high school, what do they need to do to be able to be a student at Nova Southeastern University?
Good head on your shoulders. Good grades. We don't ask for the, unattainable.
Right.
But as long as you have the good grades, a good SAT score, and a great attitude, we want you.
What is considered good grades and a good SAT score today?
Well, let's see. I was a 2.5 student in high school, and I was an NSU student, so they accepted me. No, you got to have, the good head on your shoulders.
Right.
I couldn't tell you about an SAT score, but realistically, a B, a C plus student, you could get in because you won't be just a C student at NSU. We'll make you an A student.
And what about the enrollment process? What do they need to do?
Oh, the enrollment process is really simple. You just come into our offices in Davie or anywhere else on any of our campuses, and you just fill out the simple forms. We'll set you right up with one of the counselors, and we'll see what exactly you need with that process, and then we'll move it along.
Everybody's familiar with the huge, sprawling Davie campus. What about your other South Florida campuses?
Not as sprawling as the 300 acres in Davie, but we have a North Miami campus. We have off-site campuses as well. We have a site down in Kendall, which has a lot of programs down there. We have a site in Orlando, a site in Tampa, in West Palm Beach, in Jacksonville, and my favorite, Las Vegas, Nevada.
There you go. What about your website? Somebody wants to get more information about Nova Southeastern. How do they do it?
Click on www.nova.edu, and it's right there on the top. You click on any of the programs that you want interest in.
And one last thing I want to ask all three of you about. Continuing education. It's one thing to get a degree, one thing to get a job. How important do you, and I'd like each of you to address this, how important do you think continuing education is once somebody has a degree and has started in their career?
I think that in any field, it's very critical that you continue to refresh. Many of our degrees that require licensure or certification require that. I know at NSU we offer a continuing education program, and there are courses taught at NSU or within the community that give individuals that opportunity. Very, very critical.
Mike, you concur with that?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you from my end of things that you can never know too much. And so many people I see on our campus going back for that continuing education. It does nothing but better themselves.
Right. Also, Matt Cardin has been with us, and Matt is the assistant director. Matt, how important do you think it is to continue learning?
Oh, I definitely support that. In terms of this professional development, professional growth, it allows an individual to continue to learn about their field that they work in. It allows them to really kind of become an expert, which in a lot of ways will assist them. It enhances their employability if they stay with the current company organization. They get downsized and they're more employable in a lot of cases because they have some of that continuing education. They know a lot about what they're doing. And then they're very passionate about and have that experience in the back.
In the radio industry over the last 30 years, the technology changes have been just phenomenal. And I'm sure that's the case in a lot of industries you deal with.
Oh, most definitely so. We're seeing an older population of employees who really need training just on computer and computer software, typical word processing software. My parents have been a good example of that. My father, working in business, had to learn to use a laptop. He's still not all that familiar with it, and the email, and because it was business practice he never had to be much of, and definitely had to be retrained on a lot of that stuff.
I'd like to thank the three of you for joining us this morning. It's been a very interesting hour talking about Nova Southeastern University. And Mike, we need to get you guys back in here before long because I know there's a lot going on there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you guys having us.
Our guests this morning have been Mike Laderman, who's the Associate Director of the Office of Public Affairs, also Michelle Ohayon, the Director of Career Services, and Matt Cardin, the Assistant Director in the Career Services Department at Nova Southeastern University. I'm Joe Bell for 99.9 KISS Country. We'll see you next Sunday morning on the Gold Coast Forum.